Radio starts right now.
Good morning, everyone. We've got showers and storms on the radar. We're watching those closely. More rain throughout the day today. An update with the radar coming up.
And storms are also causing big problems across the country. Up next, we're going to show you where nearly a dozen tornadoes have been reported over a 48-hour period.
And as we go outside with live cam, the other thing to factor in this morning is that it's much cooler out there. We're down to 53 degrees. It is definitely jacket weather for a lot of folks. Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday. It is April 6th.
Thanks for joining us. I hope you slept through the night. I usually sleep through everything, and I actually got up with all that rain.
Yeah, I heard thunder as well this morning, and we have flashes of lightning out there as you're driving out and about. Here's Justin Horn.
Yeah, good morning to you guys. It was a little bit loud overnight. We had some showers and storms. Still got some storms out there, and the radar is going to be active all day. The radar will be our friend. We'll follow all this activity for you. So let's get you up to date on where things are right now. Mark, you pointed out a very important point. It is chilly out there, too, with temperatures in the 50s, and it will likely stay there as we get into the afternoon. So here's the latest with the radar, and you can see we've got some pretty good showers and storms down there in Wilson County, starting to move in around Floresville. And this is an area that did get some storms overnight. In fact, there was some hail across Livonia. We'll show you some pictures here in just a little bit. But there was some pretty, not huge hail, but hail that covered the ground there around Livonia. But now starting to see another round here of some showers and storms right there around Floresville. As far as San Antonio is concerned, we do have some activity there on the northwest side. Probably some heavy rain moving in around Helotes right now, and that is tracking off to the north and east. And then more development down to the south and west. Let me show you this storm right now in Wilson County, because this is probably the strongest storm we have out there at the moment. And this thing's kind of jumping around on me, but we'll try to zoom in a little bit closer here. And what I can tell you is that we're going to get some heavy rain out of this. We're forecasting potentially 1 to 3 inches by the time we get into Friday night with this activity. But as far as this storm right here, lots of lightning, is pretty electrical, and where you see those purple colors, that's probably some torrential rainfall, and we can't rule out some small hail again with this cell as it moves off to the north and the east. So expect showers and storms today. They'll be off and on. It's not going to be raining all day long, but that activity will be there. We're still seeing some flashes of light here around San Antonio, flashes of lightning. 52 and cloudy at the airport right now. KSAT 12-hour forecast, 57 at 6 o'clock, 56, 7 a.m. And as we get into today, temperatures hold in the 50s, 80% chance of showers and storms throughout the day. And that goes into tonight and into tomorrow as well. We'll look at that forecast, talk about Easter weekend too, and get you another radar update here in just a couple minutes.
Thank you, Justin. New this morning, a meeting for the South San Antonio ISD School Board definitely went south last night. Board members meeting for the first time since they voted 5-2 last month in favor of closing 3 campuses. That included Kazan Middle School, Athens Elementary, and Kindred Elementary. Last night, West Campus High School was included in the discussion of whether it would stay open. Now, during that exchange, board member Manuel Lopez started to oppose board president Homer Flores on his treatment of the subject and how he was running the board meeting.
Mr. Flores, I'm sorry, but the only one being disruptive here is you. Okay.
Point of order, please, sir.
Go ahead, do what you have to do. I still got 2 minutes.
Sir, point of order.
You want to dictate
Mr.
how
Lopez,
this is going to be handled.
Point of order, stop hurling.
I'm not going to stop
sir.
talking. You want to dictate how this is going to be
Sir,
handled.
I'm going to ask you to stop right there.
Or you can throw me out.
Please turn off his mic. Thank you so much.
As you saw and heard, Flores had Lopez's microphone turned off, had Lopez escorted out of the room by officers. Afterwards, since the board no longer had a majority or quorum, the meeting and vote about West Campus High School had to be postponed to a later date. All this tension comes after it was announced that South San ISD is facing a $12 million deficit. Student enrollment is also down 20% over the past decade.
A lot of questions at Brandeis High School after someone found a hidden camera inside a room that girls in the ROTC program used to change clothing. Now, Northside ISD tells us an ROT instructor found the camera last month. It was a GoPro camera, and it contained 10-minute videos showing 11 female ROTC students as they changed. District spokesperson Barry Bettis said none of the clips showed pictures or video of any of the girls fully nude.
A reminder, today's the last day to register to vote. That's for the upcoming election on May 6th. Not only the mayor and city council seats up for grabs, but voters will also decide whether to amend the city charter with sweeping ballot proposition. Right now on our website, we've got everything you need to know about the election and how to register to vote. Just look for this story on KSAT.com. We've seen storms overnight here, but they're all part of a bigger system spawning tornadoes in other parts of the country.
As ABC's Andrew Denver reports, at least 6 deaths have been reported in the last 24 hours.
This morning, the severe weather marching across the country, turning more deadly. The mayor of Louisville, Kentucky, says at least 1 person died after a tornado hit the area. Extensive damage reported, including this home with a new listing sign out front split in half by a fallen tree.
We did not hear that tree fall. Never did.
Nearly a dozen tornadoes have been reported over a 48-hour period spawned by a long cold front stretching from the Gulf of Mexico to Lake Erie. In southeast Missouri, a tornado packing 130-mile-per-hour winds hit Bollinger County, killing at least 5 people. The National Weather Service says the tornado was apparently on the ground for 15 minutes, traveling about 20 miles.
You can hear something, just a roaring coming. You can hear trees popping, everything like that.
Keith Lincoln and his wife took shelter in their bathtub before the twister tore apart their home.
What were you thinking?
Thanking my good Lord, please help us. My wife's praying, save us, save the house, everything like that, and basically, he did.
Yeah, you guys made it.
Yes, we sure did.
At least 68 people have been killed by tornadoes in the U.S. this year, only 2 shy of what we see on average for an entire year. And scientists say the U.S. is seeing a shift in tornado activity. A recent study found the frequency of tornadoes in the area known as Tornado Alley from Texas to Nebraska has decreased in recent decades, while the number of tornadoes has increased in the southeast from Louisiana to Alabama. The study suggests the shift east is due to changes in atmospheric patterns and climate. Meanwhile, parts of the upper plains and Midwest have been dealing with heavy snow. It's so cold in Minnesota, the Twins' home opener had to be postponed. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Former Vice President Mike Pence will not appeal a judge's ruling that requires him to testify to a grand jury about conversations he had with former President Trump leading up to the January 6th Capitol attack. The top federal judge for the D.C. District Court last week rejected Trump's assertion of executive privilege to prevent Pence from testifying. Pence was subpoenaed in February by special counsel Jack Smith to provide documents and testimony related to Smith's election interference probe. Former Vice President's decision comes hours after Trump was formally charged with 34 felony counts tied to hush money payments before the 2016 election.
In Houston, a camera catches the exact second a car smashes into a home after speeding through a stop sign. Homeowner Serenia Quintanilla says her youngest son had been in the bathroom moments before that car hit the exact spot. Thankfully, all her children went unharmed. Afterward, the driver can be seen surveying the scene and can be heard saying his life was, quote, ruined, which didn't sit well with the mother of 4. She says speeding's long been a problem in the neighborhood, and the community has asked the city for speed bumps in the past and hopes something will be done soon. Right now, 4:38, 52 degrees.
Pop and the San Antonio Spurs plan to play more home games away from home.
I think, we'll do that, I think, every year now. I don't think, I know. And so this is a start of that.
Oh, I think you do know, Pop, actually. Up next, a look ahead at tonight's game, which players are out due to injury, and why Spurs legend Sean Elliott says there's no reason to worry about the team playing at home, away from home.
And looking out there with TransGuide, we see a crash reported at I-35 northbound at Loop 410, right at the interchange on the northeast side. It's not causing a whole lot of holdup at this hour, but we're going to be checking in with our Stephen Cavazos in the next half hour.
And outside with live cam, our producer Hardy is telling me that we do have some power outages throughout the area, but it's only about 200 to 250 customers affected. So a relatively small number, considering about 1 million people are served by CPS Energy. We'll be right back. Starting tonight, the San Antonio Spurs will play back-to-back games at the Moody Center in Austin. Spurs have 3 games left in the regular season. The team flew into Austin yesterday, touched down 45 minutes early and arrived at the team hotel. Austin media was also there to get the team arrival. The Spurs held a media avail not long after that. And Pop told us it's strange to get back to Texas, but in a sense you're not home. Sounds like this will be happening more in the future.
The Spurs organization just wants to expand the territory. We live here in this region, all the way from Mexico all the way up to here, and we'd like to spread that experience that we've had with the Spurs into another area, because we haven't been up here. But to do that, we've got to make the effort to be seen and to get up here and play some games. And I think, we'll do that, I think, every year now. I don't think, I know. And so this is the start of that.
Yeah, I told you he knew more. Spurs will play a total of 4 home games away from the AT&T Center this season. Some Spurs fans are not happy at all. Their team is playing home games in Austin, and rightfully so. However, Spurs legend Sean Elliott feels there's no reason to worry.
I can remember when I first got here in '89, and Red McCombs put Pop and I on a little bus, a hotel shuttle, and we went down to all these small towns in South Texas, and we did clinics in parking lots, and we signed autographs at HEBs and at malls, and that was all to drum up fan support. I mean, we went to Laredo, Uvalde, Victoria, Del Rio, Brownsville. I mean, you name it, we were down there, and it's essentially the same thing.
Well, I don't know, Sean. I mean, there's PR, there's clinics, and then there's full-on regulation season games. Anyway, Spurs will host the Blazers tonight at 7. Devontae, Doug, Jeremy, and Devin will not play. Keldon and Romeo are questionable, and Zach Collins is probable with a cut on his left pinky finger. Then the Spurs will take on the T-Wolves Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock at the Moody Center in Austin. 4:44 right now.
All right, go Spurs, go. And the battle of the Burrito Bowl up next, why Chipotle is suing salad chain Sweetgreen and what it means for the future of both restaurants.
In this morning's GMA First Look, it's the legal battle of the bowls.
You see me making your chicken. This is going to be in your bowl.
Chipotle Mexican Grill filing a lawsuit in California against salad chain Sweetgreen, alleging Sweetgreen's new Chipotle Chicken Burrito Bowl violates Chipotle's trademark rights.
Certainly the name Chipotle is in this new Sweetgreen bowl. And if you think about it, Chipotle has become very synonymous with this type of bowl.
Chipotle claiming Sweetgreen's very similar and directly competitive bowl is an attempt to capitalize on their brand, arguing the competitor's ad uses the same font and style as Chipotle's branding and features a similar color to their trademarked adobo red.
They have cause to be concerned.
So what does this mean for the future of both restaurants? It's all coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Will Reeve, ABC News, New York.
Let's look out there with TransGuide again. We have an accident at I-35. The Loop 410 doesn't seem to be impacting too much traffic at this hour. But again, we will be checking in with Stephen very soon.
Yeah, that's one area that we're keeping a close eye on there. We're hearing a couple different things right now, and Stephen Cavazos is passing along information as he gets it. All right, let's talk about the showers and storms. We knew they were in the forecast, and that was an early morning wake-up call for some folks today.
Yes, it was. It was loud this morning with some showers and storms. We're still seeing that activity out there, but again, I'll say it's not going to be raining all day long, so keep that in mind, but there will be intermittent passing showers. And right now we've got a pretty healthy thunderstorm right over Floresville, moving in right at the moment with a lot of lightning strikes, so it's pretty electrical there. Here in San Antonio, we've got some showers shifting in on the south side and a few showers on the northwest side, but I want to start with this larger storm here in Wilson County, and this is falling over an area where we already got some heavy rain earlier this morning. I'll show you a picture here in just a second out of Lavernia and Seguin, where they got some small hail that almost completely covered the ground. And I will tell you, too, that this is a possibility with some of these heavier storms that we may get some hail, especially where you see some of these purple colors. So let me pause the radar here and show you that, yes, the city of Floresville is getting hit with some pretty heavy rain right now. A couple lightning strikes here and there. And then as you go down to Poth and along 181 all the way down to Falls City and Karnes City, there's some heavy rain there. There could be some ponding on the roadways too, because this rain is coming down at a pretty good rate. In fact, what we can do here is look at the rainfall rates, and that gives us an idea of just how quickly this rain is falling. And where you see the purple colors, that's where you're getting the heaviest of the rain, potentially 5 inches per hour. Now, it's not going to sit there for an hour, so you're not going to pick up 5 inches of rain, but you could pick up a quick inch, and that will cause some ponding on the roadways. So we've got to be careful there. We'll switch back to radar, and let's take a look at what's going on up there around San Antonio. So we've got a pretty A nice looking storm here just outside the county, just southeast of Elmendorf. That's working towards Sutherland Springs, and this will work right over Lavernia, so you could see a little bit of more small hail and some heavy rain once again here within the hour. And then as we look in southern Bexar County, we've got some showers there just south of Mitchell Lake, one just east of Palo Alto College, but for the most part, the city is fairly quiet. You're probably seeing some flashes of lightning around us, though. And we're also noticing some new development up here on the northwest side near Helotes, and then some activity back down towards Hondo and Castroville. And before we get off the radar here real quick, I do want to take a look at the rainfall estimates from the radar, and they've been pretty good this morning. I think in some places we've probably already picked up an inch of rain, and that is down there in Wilson County where we're showing some of those heavier storms. That swath there, probably 1 to 2 inches. Around San Antonio, it's more on the order of 1/10 of an inch with some of the earlier storms, and maybe close to 2/10 of an inch in some spots. These numbers will only go up. And I was going to show you a picture there of some hail in Lavernia, but it's not connecting right now. We'll get that to you here in just a little bit. Here's what the computer models are showing. Good chances of rain through midday, even into the afternoon. We're calling for an 80% chance of rain. This model continues to show these passing showers and storms. Could be heavy at times. We're going to have to watch the morning commute and the evening commute. And as we get into tomorrow morning, this shows a little bit of a break in the action, but more showers develop by midday Friday. And I think tomorrow it'll be more shower activity than it is thunderstorms. So the heavier stuff probably occurs today. KSAT 12-hour forecast, 51 at 7 o'clock, 53 at 10 a.m., noontime 54, 80% chance of rain. And by the afternoon, still an 80% chance, and notice temperatures don't really warm up much at all. So it will be sort of a cool, chilly day with this rain in the forecast. And in total, we think 1 to 3 inches here around San Antonio. There could be some pockets of heavier numbers, lower numbers to the west, higher numbers to the east and northeast especially. And what about Easter weekend? Well, the rain chances drop off Saturday, Sunday, so we'll be able to salvage a good Easter weekend. We have added in some small chances Monday and Tuesday. And very quickly, there's your Easter weekend forecast. We're expecting 70 on Saturday, 74 on Sunday with partly cloudy skies. So good news there. We're going to get some good rain today. It's exactly what we need. And hopefully, by the time we get into Friday night, we'll be able to tell you we've got at least put a dent in our drought situation. That's the hope anyway.
That would be good news and get it all knocked out before Easter Sunday.
Yeah, it times out well.
Yeah. Thanks, Justin.
Right now we're 52 degrees.
Could Donald Glover reprise his role as a younger Lando in Star Wars? Well, up next, what the actor is saying about that possibility.
Quick update on the situation at 35 and 410. I know it's hard to see what's happening out there right now, but Stephen Cavazos has now confirmed this is a big rig rollover, not affecting the main lanes, but apparently the access road in the area, or at least one access road, is currently closed. I know TransGuide is watching and listening. If you guys have any other view or see flashing lights, you could help us out. That would be fantastic. Thank you. We'll be right back. About 5 till, actor Donald Glover talks about the possibility of reprising his role as a younger Lando Calrissian in Star Wars. Plus, Top Gun Maverick is still getting praised.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Christopher Watson.
Donald Glover there in 2018's Solo, a Star Wars story. Despite a disappointing reception at the time for the film as a whole, his performance as Lando Calrissian earned widespread praise. Now Glover tells GQ not only would he love to play the character again, he's been talking to Lucasfilm about doing just that. He also declares there's nothing more he can say about it right now without getting in trouble. Lucasfilm's owned by Disney, parent company of ABC News. Aviators. Top Gun Maverick scored a leading 6 film nominations for this year's MTV Movie and TV Awards. Stranger Things and The Last of Us are tied with 6 nods on the TV side. The awards air May 7th. Where'd you get it? No idea. Only a few episodes in, and Apple TV Plus has already renewed their new original series, The Big Door Prize, for a second season. And Ant-Man star Paul Rudd's 54th Thursday. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Christopher Watson, ABC News.
3 minutes till 5.
Investigations into actions by former President Trump continue. And up next, what former Vice President Mike Pence is saying about testifying to a grand jury about conversations he had with Trump leading up to the riots at the U.S. Capitol.
Investigation being requested after the mother of one of the Uvalde shooting victims is shoved by a DPS trooper at a Uvalde School District elementary school. Up next, the moments leading up to when she tried to get her child out of the school during a walkout.
And it looks like we have a big rig rollover there at I-35 at Loop 410. Stephen Cavazos is checking into it. It's only affecting traffic, I guess, in the access road area. Is that correct, Stephen? Well, he'll have the later details in just a little bit.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
The radar was active overnight, and it's still active now. We're going to give you an update on where showers and storms are headed coming up.
Former Vice President Mike Pence now on track to testify in a special counsel investigation into January 6th following a federal judge's ruling. I'm ABC's Justin Finch in Washington. That story ahead.
And we had some good rain overnight. Looking over there with live cam, we're starting at a cool 52 degrees. Yeah, you can feel the difference in the air. We're going to check in with Justin to see how long that'll stick around.
And a good morning to you. It is Thursday. It is April 6th. We have a few power outages around there, but it's still under 250. If it goes above 500, we'll pop up those maps coming up later in the newscast, but still very widely scattered. As more storms come in, we could see more.
That's true. It's not over yet. Let's check in with Justin Horn.
Hey, good morning to you guys. I just got an alert on my phone. My watch says that we've got moderate rain detected here at KSAT, and we're starting to see more showers and storms develop over the San Antonio. And by the way, the KSAT weather app will alert you if rain, showers, and storms are in your area, and we'll be sending out updates via the app if you want to check it out or download it or pull it up on your phone. Let's get started with the radar. We'll show you where we've got showers and storms right now. Right around Floresville and Pleasanton, we've got some pretty heavy rain there. Starting to see more activity develop over San Antonio, and it is going to be a wet day. We're going to see these passing showers and storms most of the day. There could be some pockets of heavy rain too. And if there's going to be flooding, I'm most concerned about that here in these areas, which have already seen some pretty heavy rain overnight, and we're starting to see more of that. These white lines you see here represent lightning strikes, so most of this is fairly electrical. Let's look a little bit closer at some of this activity in Atascosa County, just south of Jordan. You're starting to see the rain move in around Pleasanton as well. Poteet, you're next in line. Those storms will be here pretty soon. Floresville and Poth, you've been in the heavy rain for quite a while now, and you're still seeing more of that. Highway 181 here, we're likely starting to see rain collect on the road, so be careful. If this is an area that you travel, know that there is going to be some ponding on the roadway. And as we look up into San Antonio, yeah, there is some more development starting to take shape here. Palo Alto College, a little bit of light rain for you. 410 on the south side there, 1604 on the south side. Rain is starting to come down. And we'll zoom in a little bit closer at some of these neighborhoods here that are beginning to see some pockets of heavier rain. Right around Mission San Juan, seeing some rain there, and Mission Espada as well. The rain is coming down. 281, 1604, or 281 on the south side there, and 410, I should say, starting to see some of that heavier rain. And also seeing that around right around the Interstate 10 and Highway 90 there, just south of downtown, seeing another little batch of heavier rain. That'll be moving into downtown here within the next few minutes or so. So that's what we have going on rain-wise here around the city of San Antonio. Know that the forecast includes more rain today. It will also be fairly chilly. We're expecting temperatures to stay in the 50s today. Right now, 52. Dew point is at 48. North-northeasterly winds at about 12 miles per hour, gusting to 21. So here's our forecast. 70% chance of rain really through the morning, and we bumped that up to an 80% chance throughout the day. High temperatures only in the mid-50s, so it really doesn't change much from where we are right now. We'll also continue to see some gusty winds. Radar updates for you throughout the show. We're going to get over to Stephen now, who is already busy because we've already got an incident out there.
Yes, Justin, good morning. And, you know, we're going to be watching the roadways closely, but let's first start here at 35 at Randolph Park. Let's get a wide look at TransGuide. And you can see this is the 18-wheeler rollover that we mentioned a little bit earlier. Now, the good news here is that there were no injuries reported. In fact, the first responders were able to move this off of the main lanes and onto the access road. But keep in mind that access road is closed at this time. Now, we do know, although there were no injuries, according to first responders on the scene, they tell us us that the driver of this 18-wheeler may have been driving too fast for these wet conditions out there. So be careful. It's safe to assume the roads are wet, damp, as Justin has been mentioning. We've talked about this throughout the week, so we want you to arrive to your destination, of course, on time, but more importantly, safely. Let's get you to the map. And the good news is, because this is along the access road, we're not seeing a buildup of traffic in the area. But just keep in mind, it's also very early, so we're not seeing a lot of folks out there as well. But be aware that the roads are wet, so we will watch things closely throughout the morning. A wide view of the metropolitan area really doesn't show a lot else out there. Some quiet roadways, but still, we know that it could be a tricky commute if folks aren't careful out there. If you are traveling into San Antonio this early in the morning, thankfully, there's no need to rush. Take your time. It's a pleasant drive still from Pleasanton along 37 northbound, 28 minutes at this hour, and it's the usual drive time for our neighbors over in Castroville, about 30 minutes in the eastbound lanes of US 90, and the arrival from Lytle, should take you about 16 minutes along I-35 northbound. So areas we're not concerned with, at least for now, but we're going to watch this closely. Again, our friends at TransGuide were able to provide us with a different shot, so we're able to see more of the first responders investigating the scene, but let's hope for a better update in the next few minutes. Mark Stuff.
Thank you, sir. A Northwest Side apartment complex has become a crime scene overnight, the site of a deadly shooting.
Homicide detectives are still working right now in the 1500 block of Northwest Crossroads. That is near Loop 410 and Culebra Road.
Katrina Weber is there live. We understand police have someone in custody.
Well, that's right. They told us they took custody of a woman, someone who they believe may be a suspect in this case. Now, the person who was killed is a man believed to be in his 30s or 40s, and it appears that it happened in an apartment here. Now, this complex is called the Preserve at Westover Hills. And again, this is not far from Loop 410 and Culebra Road. You can see police still milling about here. They've been in and out of the apartment. We understand they just recently got a search warrant to go in and to start looking for evidence in this case. They did tell us that there was also a child inside the apartment when this happened, but it doesn't appear that that child was hurt. We're going to try to find out exactly what has happened to the child since that time. And we are also going to try to get an update from police on this situation. But they do have this active investigation going on. Again, a man shot dead here. It happened a little bit before 3 o'clock this morning, but as you can see, they are still working here actively. Reporting live on the Northwest Side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Today is the last day to register to vote for the May 6th election.
Alyssa Cole joins us live from the Bexar County Elections Office this morning. And Alyssa, voters will have a choice to elect a new mayor and members of City Council.
Yes, they'll also be able to decide whether or not they want to change the city's charter under Proposition A. Now, Proposition A would decriminalize abortion and misdemeanor marijuana possessions in San Antonio. It will also make some existing policies permanent, like the cite and release program for certain misdemeanors. Now, it would permanently ban chokeholds and no-knock warrants in effort to change community policing. And this all comes after George Floyd's death, an outbreak of police reform and Black Lives Matters protests back in San Antonio in 2020. We saw a lot of those back then. Several public advocacy groups, including Act for SA, gathered more than 20,000 required signatures to get the proposed amendment on this May 6th ballot. It is important to note, voters in municipalities other than San Antonio also have races to consider, as do voters in 7 local school districts. Early voting will run between April 24th and May 2nd. The last day to apply for mail-in ballot is April 25th. Reporting live outside of the Bexar County Elections Office, Alyssa Cole, KSAT 12 News.
And this morning, there are calls for an investigation after the mother of one of the Uvalde victims was violently shoved by a DPS trooper at a Uvalde School District elementary school.
This happened as students across the country took part in a national school walkout. Students in Uvalde also joined in.
Lee Waldman was there as students said enough is enough.
I have my ID and I'm going to get my son out. Hey, don't get off of her. I have an ID.
This is the moment Ana Rodriguez was pushed out of Flores Elementary as she went to check her son out of school. She tells me before this video she had gone inside and yelled for her son to walk out. Rodriguez says she was forced out when he wasn't allowed out of the auditorium. That's when she went back, banged on the door, and showed her ID to check him out.
Son, if she can do that quietly, then let her go. Get my son
Ana, the mother of 10-year-old Maite Rodriguez, who was killed last May, now has bruises on her arm, but eventually she was able to get her son out of school.
Your daughter's murdered on school grounds. Then you talk to me, sir.
Before this video, we saw several parents doing the same as Ana, checking their kids out of school to participate in the national school walkout. The district sent a notice to parents warning about the walkout and stating, quote, the students may gather in the courtyard or in the gyms depending on weather conditions and principal discretion, noting students wouldn't be allowed off school grounds. Students from across the district left their campuses anyway, marching to the downtown plaza and calling for change.
This shouldn't be something we have to worry about when we get out, when we're walking around, when we go to school. This shouldn't be something we have to worry about.
Many parents and siblings of the 21 victims stood with the students today, helping them to organize.
This is a picture of real flamingos.
Playing the voices of some of their loved ones as the students sat in the plaza for 77 minutes, the same amount of time it took for law enforcement to stop the shooter at Robb. Jackson Cross, family to victim Uzziah Garcia, says he was proud to be with the students who marched. He says now it's on lawmakers to stop the next school shooting.
You gotta raise the age to 21. Honestly, I don't think assault weapons or anything should be even allowed to be in the public.
Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
State Senator Roland Gutierrez called on DPS to open an investigation into the trooper that was recorded forcing Ana Rodriguez out of Flores Elementary.
We sent a request to DPS. At this point, we have not gotten a response.
Time check 5:11, 52 degrees.
Let's look out there with live cam. Again, starting in the cool 50s this morning. Don't be surprised. You'll definitely need a jacket and probably an umbrella still. We're going to be checking in with Justin for all those details very shortly.
Now to the special counsel probe into the alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election and the January 6th Capitol attack.
Former Vice President Mike Pence says he will comply with a grand jury subpoena to testify. Now, he says he will not challenge a federal judge's order compelling his cooperation. ABC's Justin Finch has more from Washington.
This morning, former Vice President Mike Pence appearing poised to provide documents and testimony in the Justice Department special counsel probe into January 6th. That day, a mob scouring the Capitol for Pence as former President Donald Trump pressured him. Trump's attorneys fought to block Pence's compliance with the special counsel subpoena, arguing executive privilege. Pence, at first, openly resisting.
I will fight the subpoena from Biden's DOJ.
Then telling ABC's Jonathan Karl last month,
I'm going to stand firm on the Constitution of the United States. We'll let the courts sort that out.
Now, Pence's office saying he will not appeal the judge's ruling and will comply with the subpoena as required by law. A subpoena that could position Pence as a star witness in the special counsel investigation into alleged efforts by Trump and allies to overturn the 2020 election results. Pence questioned by ABC's David Muir.
Did you ever point blank say to the president, I will not do this, I will not intervene, we lost this election?
I did, David, many times.
Fast forward to this week, Trump arraigned on 34 felony counts in connection to a hush money payment scheme involving adult film actress Stormy Daniels just before the 2016 election. Trump now the focus of a series of crucial inquiries, a Georgia grand jury election interference probe, and two in New York State, one alleging fraud at the Trump Organization and the other investigating money laundering at his Truth Social platform. As for Pence, his testimony could be weeks away unless Trump's lawyers try again to block it. Pence's team says he will comply with the court's decisions. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
5:17, 52 degrees.
Let's look out there with TransGuide. Steven's been keeping an eye on this rollover here at I-35 at Loop 410. You can still see that it's an issue, but only affecting the access roads in this early morning hours. We'll be checking in with him again very soon.
smooth chocolate. To put the world on pause. Lindor Almond Butter, made to melt you. By the Lindt Master Chocolatier. Up at 2 a.m. Again.
Woman tosses and turns.
Tonight, try Pure Z's All Night. Unlike other sleep aids, our extended release melatonin helps you sleep longer and longer. ZzzQuil Pure Z's All Night. Fall asleep, stay asleep.
Your shipping manager left to find themselves, leaving you lost. You need to hire. I need Indeed. Indeed you do. Indeed Instant Match instantly delivers quality candidates matching your job description. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
Time check is 5:20. Let's get a look here at 35 at Randolph now. Our friends at TransGuide have been able to get us a closer look at this 18-wheeler rollover that was reported a little bit earlier this morning. And it's been a lengthy process to get this scene cleared up, but you could see that obviously very busy start for these first responders out toward Windcrest. Right now, we know that no injuries have been reported, so that's the good news. But we are learning that the driver of that 18-wheeler may have been driving a little bit too fast, given the roads are wet and damp out there. So you can see that it's an active scene right now. We want to make sure that we give these first responders plenty of room. Remember, that access road is closed here at 35 northbound at Loop 410, where we have that 18-wheeler rollover. Now, thankfully, there's no other major issue reported at this hour. Quiet roadways, but no doubt, definitely some wet roadways as well. We're going to be tracking the situation throughout the morning, but you can see the metropolitan area is still pretty quiet for the most part, but the morning is still pretty early. So as the commute does pick up, it is likely that we will see more instances like this, but what I will encourage you to do right now is scan this QR code that is now on your screen that takes you to our KSAT traffic page. We have a full list of not just the current closures on there, but remember, any incident that pops up on the roadway, by scanning that QR code, you'll know before you go, so it's always good to arrive on time and safely. Justin.
Thank you, sir. And to that point, Stephen, we're going to see some pockets of heavy rain. So where we get some ponding on the roadway, it's so easy to hydroplane. You just want to take it slow, as Stephen said this morning, with this rain on the road. As we look across the city of San Antonio right now, we're starting to see those pockets of heavy rain redevelop. We saw it overnight, got a little bit of a break, and now starting to pick back up some. Let's zoom in on some of the heavier rain. And the heaviest storm we have going on right now is on the southeast side along 37 and where it intersects with 181 near Elmendorf. This is some pretty good rainfall. We'll pause the radar for you. But where you see some of these red colors, we're seeing some good rainfall rates. So it adds up pretty quickly on some of those roads, even though it has been so very dry. We're also noticing some pockets of heavy rain here around China Grove. And then as you work up towards Kirby and Windcrest, we just got a radar update there. And even seeing a little bit of purple there. So we know that is some very heavy rain. This is working its way into Converse. And we'll be moving over Randolph here very, very soon. So if you're in those areas, expect some heavy rain. This will last about 10 to 15 minutes. Let's put on the rainfall rates very quickly. And we can see just how heavy the rainfall is. And where you see those purple colors, that's where the heaviest of the rain is falling. Just south of Windcrest, we're looking at 4 inches per hour. So that is pretty torrential rainfall. That's going to cause you to use the fastest speed probably on your windshield wipers. And this won't sit here for 4 hours, but if it did, that is how much rain it would fall. I think you could pick up a quick half to inch of rain out of this. So we'll switch back to radar, clear this off, and take a look at some other areas because there's really honestly a lot to look at here. We have a busy radar. We've got other storms out near Seguin. These are the kind of storms that may put down a little bit of hail too. We saw that earlier, some lightning strikes with that. And then a larger area of heavy rain with lightning strikes just south of 87. And this is affecting places like Stockdale, just to the east of Sutherland Springs. And further south around Poth and Falls City along 181. We talked about that, some pretty heavy rain as well. I mean, we could go on and on here. There's another batch of heavy rain that is developing south of our viewing area that will be shifting in. So we'll keep an eye on that too. Bottom line, busy day rainfall wise, and we're going to see an active radar most of the day. I want to show you a picture. This came out of Seguin, and if you were watching Adam last night, he was live on the KSAT weather app explaining some of this hail. We had some severe storms where we had some small to moderate-sized hail, but notice here just covering the ground. There was so much of it. We saw that around Seguin and Lavernia, And this morning, again, there could be a few storms with some small hail in there, although the severe threat's kind of dwindling a little bit. This forecast shows widespread rain through the morning, through the noon hour, into the afternoon. We'll call for an 80% chance of rain. And this continues right on into tonight and into tomorrow. Maybe a break tomorrow morning, but then more showers tomorrow. And I think tomorrow is more showers than it is storms, but it is still active on the radar. It's not until Friday night that we see this activity start to dwindle. 52 at 8 o'clock. It's going to be a cool day, too. We've got to mention that. Grab the coat, grab the umbrella. You want both. Temperatures in the mid-50s as we head into the afternoon with that 80% chance of rain. 1 to 3 inches possible. Some bigger totals, especially east of San Antonio. And the extended forecast, 57 tomorrow, but we're back in the 70s this weekend, and it does clear out. Easter Sunday looks great. 74 and partly cloudy. We'll be right back.
In today's Tech Bites, Snapchat working to improve its AI chatbot. After reports it was responding in unsafe ways, Snapchat has launched some new tools. They include an age filter to make sure responses are appropriate and information for parents about how their kids are using the chatbot. Google wants to help users delete app accounts more easily, so it says Android apps found in the Play Store must let users delete accounts and purge the data inside the app and on the web. The new policy won't be fully implemented until June of next year. And Waze is making it easier to customize your drive. Users can now change their app theme and select from a number of voices to serve as navigators, including singers Kalani and Boy George. There's also a Zodiac theme where you select mood icons and vehicles to match your sign. Now, if you pick the pirate theme, you'll always know where you are. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Saw that one coming a mile away, Andrew Dimber. All right, now it is 5:29, 52 degrees.
A day after the Taiwan president met with U.S. lawmakers, China is flexing its own diplomatic muscles, while it's warning the U.S. that supporting Taiwanese independence would be a, quote, red line.
Airline bookings for destinations outside the U.S. are up more than 200% compared to last year. Can you guess which cities are the most popular? We'll have which destinations will have the most travel buddies for you next.
And ahead on GMSA at 6, we're going to tell you about one woman's trip to Iran and how it ended with her focus on helping kids in need around the world.
Gunshots at this Northwest Side apartment complex have left a man dead and a woman in police custody. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. I'll tell you why police say they weren't the only ones inside that apartment. Coming up.
And we're starting off cool this morning. You can see Katrina had her jacket on. It is 52 degrees out there, and we had quite a bit of rain, and we're going to be checking with Justin to see how much more we'll get.
Yeah, and weather may have played a role in a big incident at 35 and 410 on the northeast side. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, April 6th.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah, but first, let's check in on the weather.
It's getting busy out there again. We're seeing more showers and storms here across San Antonio. As you can see behind us, the radar is starting to get active once again. We had a pretty busy night, and now more pockets of heavy rain have developed across the city of San Antonio. Right now, right over downtown, we're seeing some rain. Just stepped outside, some decent rain falling here at the station. We've got another pocket of heavy rain on the northeast side, affecting places like Schertz and Cibolo, and working up towards I-35, eventually working up towards Garden Ridge. Some activity on the northwest side, more on the southwest side. Again, you name it. We basically got rain just about everywhere. Now, it's not going to be one of those situations where it's raining all day long, but you're going to see these passing downpours and potentially some thunderstorms too. We are seeing some lightning strikes. Pretty heavy cell right here on the south side of the county, right along 1604, where it intersects with 281 or just east of that. Seeing a nice little cell here that could put down maybe some small hail where you see some of that purple color, but mostly this is just very heavy rain, and this is working out to the north and east and will eventually work its way up towards 181 there. So we'll keep an eye on that cell. Otherwise, we've got more heavy rain that's developing down across parts of Atascosa County. Look at this big swath of rain, lots of lightning strikes, and this is working its way north and northeast, and will eventually move up towards Bexar County. So we'll be watching that too. We've seen heavy rain overnight from Forestville up to Lavernia, some small hail mixed in there too. So bottom line, it's going to be a busy day. And as we look outside for you right now, 54 with a thunderstorm nearby there at 410 and I-10. Dew point is at 47. North-northeasterly winds at about 8, gusting to 20. It feels chilly out there, and it's not going to change much. The temperature is not going to change much. 52 at 8 o'clock. We'll stay in the mid-50s through the day and an 80% chance of rain. That continues right on into tonight. Tomorrow will be chilly too with more rain chances. Hopefully we can put a little bit of a dent in our drought situation. But we also have to keep in mind it's going to make for some wet roads and some ponding on the roads.
Yeah, and that's what we want to keep track of throughout the morning, Justin. Thankfully, the issues have pretty much stayed right here in terms of the roadways. 35 there at Randolph Park. Let's get a wider look at TransGuide and show you what is going on out there, because we have that 18-wheeler rollover that was reported earlier in the morning. Now, we were looking at this shot and noticed that there is a bit of progress that's being made. Keep in mind, this actually has been there for quite a while now, so we want to make sure that you are aware and that first responders are out there on the access road. Now, the good news of this particular incident that there are no injuries reported, but according to first responders on the scene, it does appear that this may have been caused due to some speeding on those wet roads out there. So as a reminder to you, take it slow out there. The commute, thankfully, isn't too bad through the area near Windcrest. I-35 northbound at Loop 410 along the access road is where that rollover was reported. Notice that there's no slowdowns just yet, but we want you to take it slow out there as the commute does get rolling, because we also have some stalls reported, or at least one here at I-10 eastbound at Fulton Avenue, also not causing any issues. But remember, anytime you see those flashing lights, move over, slow down, guys. Giving you a wide view of the metropolitan area. Thankfully, as I mentioned, there's not a lot out there this early in the morning, but give it some time. The roads are going to get a little bit busier as the hours do go by, but we'll be watching things very closely. If you are traveling in, there's still no need to rush. I-10 westbound is green from Seguin along those areas. You can see about 30 minutes to the Alamo City, 33 along 87 northbound from Livernia. And for our friends down in Floresville, should be about 31 minutes to the Alamo City. So take your time. Let's get one quick look here at 35 at Randolph Park and Ride, but really quick, want to also provide a different shot where we have a look around town at 90 at 35. Things are moving along, but you notice the roads are wet. Looks like the camera at 281 at Hildebrand went out, but we'll be watching things closely, and I'll be checking in with our friends at TransGuide if any issue does pop up. Mark, stuff.
Okay, thanks, Stephen. Updating late-breaking news, homicide investigators are questioning a woman about the overnight shooting death of a man.
It happened in an apartment not far from Loop 410 and Culebra Road on a street called Northwest Crossroads. Katrina Weber is there with a live report. Katrina, do police know the reason for the shooting?
Well, it seems like they're still trying to nail down some of the details, but obviously there was some sort of a dispute between the man and woman, according to police. Now, they are just wrapping up their physical investigation here. They just took down the crime scene tape just a few minutes ago, and we saw a contractor with a medical examiner leave with the body of that victim in this case. They say that is a man who was in his 30s or 40s. Police have been working in a ground floor apartment in this building right here. They say that is where it happened a little bit before 3 o'clock this morning. You can see officers now still coming out of that area. They say, again, the suspect in this case, and that she shot the man, killing him. Police did tell us earlier there was a child in the apartment at the time. We are still trying to find out what happened to that child as they continue their investigation. Reporting live on the Northwest Side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
5:38 this morning, China is warning the U.S. not to provoke it over Taiwan after the island's president met with U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
As CNN's Amy Kiley reports, it's also shoring its relations with other countries.
A day after the Taiwanese president met with U.S. lawmakers, independence would be a, quote, red line.
It is not our intention to escalate.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen say independence wasn't the reason for their meeting.
I reiterated Taiwan's commitment to defending the peaceful status quo, where the people of Taiwan may continue to thrive in a free and open society.
Bipartisan members of Congress share that take on the self-governing island.
We take our support for the people of Taiwan seriously and are determined to speak with one voice.
As for the Biden administration, it's downplaying the visit. The U.S. acknowledges China's position that Taiwan is part of its country, but doesn't recognize Chinese sovereignty over the island.
Transits by high-level Taiwanese authorities are nothing new. They're private, they're unofficial. In fact, every Taiwan president has transited the United States.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
A major ruling ahead of the $1.6 billion lawsuit against Fox. A judge overseeing the trial ruled Fox boss Rupert Murdoch and his son can be forced to testify in person. Dominion Voting Systems is suing Fox for what is argued in court was the network's airing of what it knew to be false information about the company's voting software. The trial already features Fox's biggest on-air personalities, including Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, and Maria Bartiromo. Murdoch has denied Fox itself promoted former President Trump's election falsehoods.
National Public Radio, or NPR, is criticizing Twitter for labeling it as state-affiliated media. That label is typically saved for foreign propaganda outlets such as Russia's RT and Sputnik. NPR CEO is calling the action unacceptable and a violation of Twitter's own policy. NPR does receive some government funding. However, it also gets money from corporate sponsors and public broadcasting membership fees. Meanwhile, other outlets similar to NPR, like the BBC, remain unlabeled.
Arkansas may soon become the second state to require children to get their parents' permission if they want to use social media. The Arkansas House of Representatives has now approved a bill that would require age verification and parental consent for users under the age of 18. The bill would require social media companies to contract with third-party companies to perform age verification. The bill, which has the support of Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, must now go back to the state Senate. Utah's governor signed similar legislation into law just last month.
Time now, 5:41 and 52 degrees for now.
Spoonful of sugar may be even worse for your health than first thought. Up next, we have 45 new reasons to try to cut out added sugar from your diet.
And more people are taking their vacations out of the country this year. Up next, the top destinations people are traveling to abroad.
Weather and traffic are the main headline this morning here on GMSA, and we'll check in with our experts coming up.
And welcome back. It's 5:44 in your morning consumer headlines. Bad news if you have a sweet tooth. A new study says there are at least 45 good reasons to cut back on added sugar. So the study was published Wednesday in the journal, the BMJ. U.S. and Chinese researchers found that added sugars, which are in foods like syrups, honey, fruit juice, vegetable juice, and purees, are all associated with significantly higher risk of many sicknesses. Those include diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, heart attack, stroke, cancer, asthma, tooth decay, depression, and early death. That report says that participants with the highest consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages had higher body weight than those with the lower intake. It says people should limit free sugar intake to about 6 teaspoons per day.
Pack your bags, everyone. International travel is on the rise. AAA reports that airline bookings are up more than 200% compared to last year. Europe and Canada, the most popular destinations, with Rome, Paris, Vancouver, and Dublin as the hotspots. London, in particular, has a 350% increase in travelers compared to last year. As a result, hotel bookings are on the rise, up more than 300% compared to 2022. Unfortunately, higher demand for flights means higher airfares, but it doesn't seem to be deterring travelers from going abroad. So if you're going to any of those cities this summer, expect lots and lots of company.
All right. Well, time now, 5:45 and 52 degrees for now.
Checking TransSky. This is one of the spots we're watching right now as far as the roads and dryness. There's 410 at Villamain. Our hot spot is at 35 and Randolph, which is at 35 and 410 on the northeast side due to a big rig rollover that's been working now for quite a while. An update is still to come.
Time check, 5:48. Well, we still have that big rig rollover that's working to clear here. First responders have had their hands full this morning, but good news is there were no injuries associated with this crash. But we do know that the driver may have been speeding through the area. The road's clearly wet this morning, so not a good combination ever. But thankfully, you can see that there is some progress being made. But remember, the access road is closed at this time as first responders are working to clear this up. In fact, you can see some of them out there on the scene already. We'll watch it closely throughout the morning. morning. But remember, the access road remains closed at this time at 35 northbound at Loop 410. This is over on the northeast side near Windcrest. So 18-wheeler rollover, not a good sign. But the good news is no injuries, and it's not impacting the main lane. So hopefully we'll have a better update soon. Do want to take you over here. We still have a stall reported at I-10 eastbound at Fulton Avenue, not causing any issues as well. But if you have any big trips planned, especially if you plan on traveling to see family this weekend, just make sure you watch out on the roads. Not a pretty commute this morning, but we're keeping a very close eye on it here in the traffic lab. Notice that there's no congestion that's building up just yet, but it is still very early in the morning. We'll watch these areas very closely. Again, 35 at Randolph is just one of the areas that we continue to track throughout the morning, but it does look like there is some progress being made there. One look here around town, US 90 at 35. You can see the roads are wet. You can see some droplets on the TransGuide cameras. Our friends over there are working to provide us those updates as well. They wipe the cameras with those camera wipers, I guess you would call them. I don't know what they're called. But you can see that, again, the commute's quiet, but definitely a lot of wet roads out there. So take it slow. Best way to go.
It's actually a guy named Rick out there with a rag on a really tall ladder.
Yeah, it's yes, it's
the wiper blades.
The wiper blades. Thank you. I need
You're welcome.
Caffeine.
It's okay. It's still early.
And we need them now. I mean, that rain continues.
Yeah, driving into work, I had a patch of pretty heavy rain. I had to crank the windshield wipers up to high, and that's kind of the situation that we're going to be in. You're going to drive through some pockets of heavy rain, and then may be a break for a little bit and run into more. You can see how it's setting up here on radar. We've got some good heavy rain now showing up on the west side of San Antonio as this rain works off to the north and east. Right there, that's where we're seeing some of the heaviest rain at this hour, right along 90 near SeaWorld, crossing over 151. And this is going to work its way into Leon Valley here very shortly, and then eventually the medical center and north side there of San Antonio. We've seen some pretty heavy rain on the south side of Bexar County here over the last hour or so. Starting to let up some, but we'll see more moving in throughout the day. And we've got another pretty good looking cell here. This was the one that I was watching earlier, crossed over 181, and now is making its way up towards the Atkins and St. Hedwig area. And these are moving pretty quickly, so you're not going to get a ton of rain out of them, but we've seen some pretty healthy rainfall totals. Let me pause it here, and what we can do is track where this storm will be headed. We'll put it at about 20 miles per hour or so. And this will work its way up towards Marion by about 6:39. Marion High School about 6:38. Seguin High School 7:02. That'll be your next kind of pocket of heavy rain there in Seguin, a place that's already seen heavy rain overnight and some hail to boot with some pockets where we've already seen up over an inch of rain. So it's already starting to add up, and we love to see that. Let's zoom out some, and I'll show you the bigger picture here. Some very heavy rain stretching from basically west side of San Antonio, Atascosa County, where we've got another good pocket, over to Floresville, Gonzales, and this stretches all the way over to east of Gonzales, where there is a ton of lightning right now. And this is one of those examples of pockets of heavy rain that'll be moving through, and you'll continue to see this kind of development. Good news through all of this, no severe weather at the moment. We did see some last night, some bigger hail, but we're not seeing that this morning. I don't anticipate a lot of severe weather today. There could be one or two strong storms, but not like last night where we saw hail up to 1 1/4 inch in size. And this was, I believe, out of the Lavernia area, between Lavernia and Seguin. We didn't get a location on this one, but thank you for measuring that out for us. It gives us a good idea of what we were dealing with. So that was last night. And as we look at the forecast for today, it continues to show widespread showers and storms. This is noontime, 80% chance of rain. We're going to keep that going right on through dinner time. Evening commute's going to be wet. Overnight, more showers, potentially a few storms, maybe a break in the action tomorrow morning, but just leads to more showers during the afternoon. And so Friday will be wet too. KSAT 12-hour forecast, as we said, rain chances are high all day, but look at the temperatures. 50s right now. We're at 52, and it's not going to warm much from there. So mid-50s for highs. It is definitely jacket weather. If you've been outside this morning, it's actually quite chilly, and tomorrow will be cool as well. How much rain can we expect overall? 1 to 3 inches here in San Antonio. There will be some pockets potentially higher than that, but this is some of the best rain we've seen since last year, if you can believe that. Bigger totals off to the east and northeast. You'll find some lighter totals out west. 57 tomorrow, 70 though on Saturday. It does warm up with a few peaks of sun late in the day. 74 Easter Sunday looks beautiful, and we have added in some small rain chances Monday and Tuesday. We'll be right back.
Good morning. Coming up, I'll be tracking that dangerous storm moving east this morning following another round of tornadoes that have left at least 5 people dead. I'll tell you where this storm is headed next. Also this morning, the new potential trouble for Donald Trump as former Vice President Pence moves closer to testifying about January 6th. Those stories and so much more coming up right here on GMA.
Happening today, city leaders temporarily doing away with curfew at certain parks for the Easter holiday weekend. Starting tonight at 11 p.m., curfew will be lifted at many parks, and they'll resume Easter Sunday at 11 p.m. One woman's trip to Iran ended with the urge to help those in need. We'll tell you what she's doing to help ahead in our next hour of GMSA. Plus, we'll tell you about a new sleep study showing what you're at risk for if you have problems sleeping at night. And right now we're tracking wet roads around San Antonio. Showers and storms are working their way back into the Alamo City area as we speak. Stephen and Justin have done a marvelous job keeping us updated on radar and the roads, and we'll talk to them again coming up.